Hello again, growers! For today's activity, you will be painting your very own flower pot. And this is what my flower pot looks like. As you can see, I painted a picture of a flower, and today we learned the sign for flower. Remember, we put our hands together like this, and we bring it to one side of our nose and to the other side of our nose for flower. You can also plant a flower into this flower pot, or any other kind of plant that you would like to plant.
Hi growers, here's all the supplies you need to paint your flower pot. First, you'll need a table or some place to work. Then you need a blank flower pot. We used a medium-sized one, so there's enough room to paint on. Next, you need newspapers to cover your workspace so you don't get paint. So we'll spread the newspapers over the table like this. Then you'll need some supplies. To decorate our flower pots, we chose different kinds of paint. So we have paint that opens up like this, and we also have puffy paint. To apply the paint, you'll need some different paint brushes. So we have small paint brushes, and we have bigger brushes. You'll also want to have a cup of water to clean your paint brushes and a paper plate to put the paint on. Once you have all these items, you can get started. Okay, let's get started on our painting project. I'm going to make a flower on my flower pot too, but you may choose to do something different. First, I'm gonna pick my first color. This will be for the flower center. I'm going to use orange. So I'm gonna take my paintbrush and I'm gonna dip it in the orange paint. Make sure to get enough. Then I'm gonna grab my pot, my flower pot, and I'm gonna make an orange dot on one side. That will be the center of the flower. I'm going to put some more paint on. When I'm done, I'm going to clean my paintbrush in the water so I can dip it in a new color. It looks nice and clean. My next color that I'm going to use is going to be blue. So I'm going to use my paintbrush and put blue paint on it. I'm going to start making the petals. Now these can be any shape I want. I'm going to go with little circles. So I'm going to paint these circles around the edge of my flower. Make sure your brush is dry so there's no spills. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on making my flower design. I might need to get a smaller brush. So I'm gonna take the skinny brush, make sure it's dry by drying it on the paper. I'm gonna put that in the blue paint now. Just like a flower. So flower has a lot of petals, so that's what I'm painting. Have you seen a blue flower like this before? You can choose to make the flower your favorite color. We have a lot of colors to choose from.
Now I am going to paint some leaves on my flower. I'm going to choose green paint for my leaves, and I'm going to use the small brush for the leaves. I'm going to start with a small stroke here, and then a little stroke down here, and make the end pointy, and fill it in. Just like that. And now I'm going to do another leaf on the other side. I'm going to make a line here. And another line down here. And they'll come together to make a point. And I'm going to fill it in. And now I'm going to take my brush and dip it in the water so it's nice and clean. And wipe it onto the paper to dry it off. And here is our flower pot. Doesn't it look great? Once your flower pot is done, make sure not to touch it because the paint is wet. So what you want to do is set it on some paper and let it dry for about 2 hours. Now that you are done painting, it's time to clean up. So first I'm going to take our water that we dipped our paint in and I'm going to pour it into the sink. I'm going to come over to the sink and pour it down the drain. And I'm going to rinse it out with some water from the sink and pour it out again. And I'm going to put the container into the dishwasher so it can get nice and clean.
When we're all done painting, don't forget to close the lids on your paint or else the paint will dry out. So I'm gonna make sure all those lids are closed. Then I can go put the paints away. Next, collect all the brushes that you used and make sure there's no paint on them. I'm gonna rinse them out in the sink. And then I'll leave them up here to dry.
Now I'm going to take all of the paper that we used to put our flower pots on and I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to come over here to the trash can and I'm going to put it right into the trash can.
The last part of cleaning up is putting away all of our supplies. I'm gonna take all the paints that we used and put them in a bag so we can use them for next time. Don't forget the brushes. So then we'll put this bag in a closet where we store our art supplies. We hope that you enjoyed this activity, learning how to sign the word flower and making our flower pots. Thanks.